Hey man, I know we never talk, and I forget your last name, or if you're married, but I just bought a pile of broken cinder blocks and rusty pig iron. Can I borrow your truck?
Let me borrow that truck. Let me borrow that truck. You're not even driving it. Let me borrow that truck.
2007 Ford Ranger V6. Hey kids, it's everybody's favorite, the Vulcan V6. A low revving, slow revving, low power, high maintenance, back assward design, unsympathetic, moody, pushrod iron block displacing 3 liters of disappointment. Horsepower rating? Garbage. Torque? Garbage. 373 rear gearing? Not enough. There's no limited slip differential, and Doug vows this is the worst vehicle he's ever driven in the snow. According to Doug, this shares the guts of its transmission with a Miata, and it's not too far off from the history surrounding this Ranger, which came to North America as a result of Ford's partnership with Mazda. Both companies utilized the Mazda B-Series platform, but sold the truck under different names. Although it started out in North America as the Ford Courier, it would eventually take the name Ford Ranger from the discarded Edsel Ranger. These trucks are designed to be assembled cheaply and disposed of after 10,000 miles. This was sitting at 70,000 miles when Doug purchased it 3 years ago, and it's currently at around 130,000 miles. So while it's hung in there, you can tell it's not long for this world, purely from the amount of maintenance Doug had to do on this Ranger. This is evidenced by the condition of the repair manual, which looks like a torn, jizzed-up first edition of Marilyn Monroe's Playboy issue. The clutch master cylinder isn't really held in with anything, and the clutch fittings are quick disconnect because you're expected to bleed the clutch hydraulic system off the truck on a workbench and then install everything back in. Worse yet, you need to remove the coil springs to get to the motor mounts, which makes them a gigantic pain in the ass to replace, so no one does it, which is why every old Ranger goes clang-a-bang-a-banga. As for mods, Doug booger welded the side dump exhaust and put PVC pipe cup holders in because the factory cup holders are useless. He added a speaker enclosure behind the seats, but with only room of 6x8, he didn't have many options. He also added roof lights, a tow hitch, back window tint, an aftermarket horn, and aftermarket fog lights, which were set up to run like factory ones. They were initially set to run with the high beams, but you can't do that in PA because that's considered dual headlights. In Pennsylvania, if your high beams are on, they can be the only lights that are on. You run with fog lights and high beams on, whoop whoop, you're getting a fix-it ticket. Ford Ranger is almost terminably bland, and it's mostly because you're not really supposed to keep these trucks that long. The Ford Ranger is the disposable camera of trucks, or maybe more like a pair of lucky underwear. Even if they still fit after 10 years, you're pushing your luck every extra day you wear them. Let's see. Positive about this truck. Well, now that it's 2017, this specific model is officially 10 years old. So I guess that's something to celebrate. And hey, 2016 is over, so there's that. Although, we should probably look on the bright side. A Ford Ranger, a late model one like this, drives like a minivan. Its cargo capacity and tow rating is only slightly higher than a Ford Taurus or Mercury Sable, the base models of which also use the 3-liter Vulcan V6. So that means a Ford Ranger is a car. It's a Ford Taurus shoved through a Play-Doh fun factory. It came out the other side in the shape of a truck. And cheaper. But people still want used Ford Rangers. Why? Well, they're the last small truck for sale in America. Greedy politicking and anti-capitalistic populist rhetoric and earmarking created the chicken tax. It's time to talk about this. The chicken tax was passed in 1968 as an agriculture tariff on imported potato starch, dextrins, which in food production is used as maltodextrins, which is that sugary, powdery stuff on kids' cereal, and gas station candy, and cheap beer to make it foam better and not taste like butt. The tax also hit imported brandy, which I don't care about because I don't drive a GMC Yukon with limo tint, KMC Rockstar wheels, and a Smithy-built 12,000-pound winch which will never, ever, ever be unwound. And the chicken tax upped the price on imported light-duty trucks, which priced good small Toyotas and Nissans out of the working man's pockets. And it allowed domestic manufacturers to cut corners at the entry level because they no longer had any competition at that price point. The disposability of the Ford Ranger is the antithesis of the entire idea behind Ford pickups. Ford pickups are a callback to the era of appliances that didn't need to be replaced every year. Today, you have computers and phones and blenders and refrigerators that don't do a single loving thing they're supposed to. They all crap out and die right when a new one is coming out. It's BMW SUV logic, because that's what commerce has become. Same shit, different toilet paper. But Ford pickups are supposed to represent the durability of the American idea itself, that you can trust in a name because sometimes names are the most valuable things we have. Whether it's true that a Ford pickup will last for decades or not doesn't really matter when the brand is durability and trust. And maybe that's why Ford endures in the truck department. They have a hell of a marketing team if they could sell an unremarkable truck like this from one continent to another. But I guess another part of it is the old saying about how appearances can be deceiving. It's like how you think that one shredded guy at your gym is simply a genetic freak of nature until you find out the dude has more juice in him than Kool-Aid Man. Ford Ranger, for when your girlfriend nicknames you The Weekend, because you won't just hurry up and come already. But in a way, the truck is also kind of reassuring in its lack of elegance. It's like going on a date with someone you aren't all that attracted to. You're free to be yourself. Because there's nothing at stake that being yourself can cost you. You don't have to stand on ceremony. You don't have to stand on ceremony. The Ford Ranger isn't a luxury vehicle, and it isn't even sporty, and it's not much of a truck either. But it affords you a luxury that not everyone can afford. The freedom from the anxiety that every true-blooded weirdo has, that whatever face you're presenting to the world is the wrong one.
Listen up, friend, it's not what you think. I need to haul things like crates of printer ink. Come on, help me out, 'cause I'm down on my luck. There's a reason that I need your truck. And you saw my van in the early days. There was room for my racks and all my bumper plates. I'll still need your truck.